This is to show you how to do the Endangered Species Project. The week of October 19th through 23rd, we're going to be working on this project the entire week. This first part right here will tell you how we are organizing the project. So in class on Monday, Tuesday, and the Wednesday assignment is where students will really be focused on the endangered species research. That is a formative grade and will be graded for correctness, and that is due by midnight on Wednesday. The slideshow is also available to begin, but the slideshow does not need to be done until the first 30 minutes of class on Friday. So we'll give time in class on Thursday and Friday to do the slideshow, but if you're going to take longer than 30 minutes, then you should start it ahead of time. So the deadline for everything is the last 30 minutes of class, because the last 30 minutes of class, students are going to be looking at each other's slideshows and filling out a worksheet based on it. So let me take you through how to do the different parts and what you need to know. So if you're back here on the module, you can see everything. So the first, all the instructions for your endangered species research is right here within the assignment. These are some great websites to use. The one that I would like you to use the most is the Iucn Red List. Okay, so when you open this up, as soon as you open it, I want you to click the search bar right here. And while that's searching, I want to show you how to read the threat level. So these abbreviations are the threat levels. So LC means least concerned. Don't choose anything that's least concerned. NT is near threatened, LR lower risk, VU is vulnerable. I don't want you to choose any organisms that have this next to their name. And you will find them on here. You'll find all sorts of organisms. Okay, so what I need you to look for is ones that are critically endangered or endangered. You don't want extinct. So you're looking for these, the orange and the red. So when you are searching for this, what would be useful is to scroll down and to choose the critical, possibly extinct, possibly, so choose this one. That will help to narrow down what you're looking for. So then I'm going to come up to taxonomy, and I'm going to choose which kingdom. You can choose your different kingdoms. I'm going to recommend animal. I think that's probably easier to do, but you can choose it. Most of you would probably want chordates. Okay, so chordates are going to be, so aves is birds, reptiles, amphibians, mammals. So those are the ones you're most familiar with. So let's say I want a reptile. So I'm going to choose here. All right, I'm going to choose this one. You're just kind of going through, just picking something. I honestly, at this level, I don't know what these are. So I'm just going to open one up and learn about it. Scroll down. So I will click on some of these, and as I click on them, this is giving me stats. I don't want this on stats. I want this on grid. So if you get something weird, make sure you're over here on grid. So I've got the 10-line skink, the 4-line skink. So these are all telling me some different amphibians. So once you get this card, then you can open this up and learn all about the species. Okay, so again, here is the level, and you need to have critically endangered or endangered. It shows you a map of where they're found. It tells you their habitat is the forest. It tells you the threats to them. It tells you their taxonomy. So that's one of the questions. Here's your kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and then the species. So you want its scientific name. This is the scientific name. This is the common name. So the common name and scientific name. Okay, that's some of the first couple questions you need to answer. And then as you scroll down, everything you need to know is right here in this site. So if you can get this site to work, sometimes the site does not work, but if you can get it to work, it's wonderful. You can also download, if they have it, if you can get the PDF for your species, it's tremendous. So the PDF has all of the information about your species, where it's found. It's got the map. It's got information about its population and threats. And some of these, this one doesn't have a ton of information. Some have a lot more than others. If you are doing your research and you find a species that doesn't have much information, you're really struggling to answer questions, pick a different species. I'm letting you pick your own species. Pick one that you can find things. So that's kind of showing you how to use this Iucn Red List. You can also, there are other websites on here. You could use the Fish and Wildlife website. It's probably a little easier, in which case you can just, I think they just tell you right here, here's threatened and endangered animals, and they give you a big list. Okay, so there's lots of different websites that you can use. So once you have picked your website, you are going to click on this link. It's expired for me, but so click on this link. So if things ever go away for you in Canvas, just refresh and they'll show back up. It doesn't work for me as a teacher to click on this, so I'm going to open up with what will look like when you click. So here is your project. The question that you have to answer is over here. Your answer goes in this box. That just makes it so much easier for us to grade. Okay, so what's the common name of your endangered species? What's the scientific name? Okay, so again, scientific name is genus species. So on here, this would be underneath here, that would be the scientific name. Okay, this would be the scientific name. So Jamaican poorwill would be the common name, and this would be the scientific name. It's the genus and species of the organism. The threat level is right here. So it's critically endangered. Okay, so critically endangered. These are all critically endangered. So the threat level, when you open up the little tab, it's right here on this thing. So give the taxonomy. Again, that's right. If you scroll down, the taxonomy is right here. Okay, you can also find the taxonomy on Wikipedia, which, I mean, granted, it's right here. This is the kingdom, this is the phylum, class, order, family, genus, and then the species name is the second name here. So this is the species. So this is your genus, this is your species. Describe your organism. So as you're describing it, it is a plant. That's helpful. It's found in, these areas. So just describe, it's a reptile. It's just tell me about your organism, because honestly, if you're telling me the genus and species, I might have no idea what type of organism we're talking about. So just tell me a little bit about it. Describe where it lives, what part of the world, but then also tell me within that, don't just say it lives in Africa. Like, narrow it down. It lives on the savannah. It lives in a burrow. It lives, in large trees or something. Tell me about its habitat. If it's an ocean animal, then don't just say any ocean. Like, which oceans is it typically found in? Is it migrating all over the place? Tell me a bit. Tell me what your organism eats. Tell me what eats your organism. Okay? The reproductive strategy. So you can use the R and K, but really I just want a description. Does it have tons of babies? It has very few babies. Does it reproduce 5 times a year? Does it reproduce once every 3 years? And you might not have that information, but find whatever information you can. Describe their population dynamics. Again, is it solitary? Do they live in groups? Do they live in herds? This is why it's a little easier to do animals. So tell me about, and then tell me any data that you have about their population. Okay, so in these types of ones, you can look. So this one says research needed on population size. So you could say scientists don't really know the population size. Sometimes you'll find lots of information and sometimes information is missing. So tell me what the scientists know. Then what are the main reasons your organism is threatened? That will be on this site. It will tell you why it's threatened. So here's its habitat, here's its threats. Agriculture and aquaculture. See if you can open it up and see if it will tell you anything about that. So try to learn. It just tells me this. What does that mean? So if the threat is agriculture, I was just telling me other things that are threatened by the agriculture. It's probably, what it means is that they're clearing the land so it's losing its habitat. Okay, so tell me some of the main reasons, and then up here you're kind of listing the reasons, but here you're trying to explain why that's a problem. So if my organism lives in trees and they've cut down all the trees, it's losing the place where it lives. Maybe it's losing its food source. Maybe it's actually being overhunted. So try to explain to me why it's a threat. If yours only has one reason that it's being endangered, then you just fill out one of these boxes. If yours has 3 reasons that it's being endangered, then there are like up to 3 spots for you to fill out why the threat is bad for your organism, like how it's threatening your organism. Then you're going to try to look up plans what are the plans that scientists are trying to do to help the species. And again, I would recommend like trying to find a species at the beginning that has some information. Again, don't choose these ones that are NT. That stands for not threat or near threatened. Okay, or VU. Don't choose those. You need endangered or critically endangered. Okay, but some of them, like if I was asking about population numbers, by the way, this is telling me that its population is decreasing. That one's stable. When you are looking for how is it being helped, so here's its threats. Here's the threat level, conservation actions in detail. So you can kind of read right in here. Okay, sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. So see what you can find for it. And then describe how it would help. So if they're reforesting, why is that useful for your organism? Okay, if you can not find any information about the plan that's currently in place, then go ahead and try to decide what you think would be helpful. Okay, so you can tell me either what's currently in place or what you think would be helpful. So after you have filled out this research, you are going to use this information to do the slideshow. So the slideshow is right underneath. And you can start that. You can kind of be doing both at the same time. I wrote what goes on each slide here, but it's also on the slides. And while I said that it should be 5 slides long, it's okay if it's 6. It's not a big deal. Oh, it doesn't open for me, but it will open for you. So when you go to open it, on the first page, erase what I have here and type in the name and the threat level. Erase this, put in a picture, put in a map showing where it's found. Okay, you can leave background information, but then erase this and actually answer these questions. Which again, if you erase this and forget what's supposed to be here, if you go back to the assignment, it tells you what goes on each slide. Okay, so fill this in. You're really just kind of paraphrasing what you have on this research. You don't have to do the research again. You already have this information. But this is for somebody to learn about it. They don't need everything. Populations, again, you're just coming right from here, kind of copying and pasting. If there is a graph that you can find, put it in. If there's not, it's fine. Threats, and then plans to help the species. Okay, so this is the slideshow that you're going to do. Then on the day of, I need for you to click share. I need for you to change, well, I already did it, but I want you to click this change, and I want you to make it, I already had it on here, but anyone with the link can view. So when you've done that, that's what we want. And then I need you to, I forgot to do this, I need you to click copy link. So click copy link. Then what you're going to do is on this gallery walk, you are going to, oops, that didn't work. You're going to, these will be active. You're going to click on one of these links, which will be a form that has a whole bunch of shareable links. And you're going to paste your shareable link into the form. So you'll have everybody's links up. I closed mine, but it will look like this. So you'll write your species name and your link, and then you'll have everybody in your class's species names and links. So you'll click on 6 different people's slideshows, and you will fill out this gallery walk. So you'll just name of the species and threat level, a little description, threats, and the plans to help. So you will need to look at 6 different people. So this is what is the entire plan for the week. Okay, so you are starting, the most points is for this, for your research. It needs to be complete and accurate. And then you are trying to make a very nice slideshow. And then on the last day, the last half of the last day, you're looking at each other's slideshows.